Dr. Dobbins, would you give a blessing?
Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for the privilege of serving the Cherokee people. May we always be mindful that we are accountable to our fellow council members, to our people, but most importantly to you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Rex Jordan.
Here.
E.O. Smith.
Here.
Joel England.
Honey.
Keith Austin.
Here.
Harley Buzzard. Joe Byrd.
Honey.
Sean Crittenden. Mike Dobbins.
Here.
Frankie Hargis. Wanda Hatfield.
Honey.
Dick Lake.
Honey.
Mike Shambach.
Here.
Mary Bakershaw. Present. Denise Taylor. Here. Victoria Vesquez. David Walkenstick. Brian Warner.
Honey.
We do have a quorum.
Thank you. Call for the approval of the minutes from the November 13th meeting.
So approved. Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes. Let's see, get reports. Bruce Davis. Right.
How's everyone? Good to see everyone. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Feliz Navidad.
You too.
I got that from my husband.
It's good to be at the Cherokee Nation this time of the year. Every year we celebrate, have good fellowship, and it's good when we can get along, get things done. I want to say, Miss Mary, I enjoyed the tour the other day that we had. Thought it was great, and we got a lot of parades that's been going on, and my guys and ladies have been taking care of some of those, and we still got some other events going on, Rex. So we're real busy this time of the year. You have my report, and I'll try to answer any questions that you might have, and we'll go from there.
Any questions?
How you doing, Bruce?
Good, Sean.
Hey, I had something come up, Bruce. There was some legislation, Cherokee Nation Environmental Protection Commission rules, the Fish and Wildlife chapter.
Okay.
But anyway, it's regarding, it says that we're going to protect the river cane there.
Okay.
And there's some instances down in Adair County where some of it's getting destroyed by cows, and it's my understanding we were going to fence it off at one point. Can you kind of tell me where we're at in that process of protecting that?
Sure. I think we've visited with Ginger, and once we are notified where that river cane is and where it's marked, so we know where it is,
Okay.
then our leasees will know that, this is protected. We're not going to mow it. Our guys know it's protected, so.
We can
that-
start fencing it,
Right.
just where it's at?
Yes.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Keith.
On your community assistance projects, you say brush hogged at Catoosa truck stop. What is that?
Well, we have,
I know where our welcome center is.
well, it's right next to that.
Bruce's truck stop.
The old Bruce's Truck Stop. We own that
ours?
property, yes.
I didn't realize we
And so
owned
we have to maintain it and keep it, keep it mowed and brush hogged.
So that's between the AT&T and 163rd there?
I think so. I think, is that right,
Call
Ginger?
center?
Yes, it's that concrete slab.
Right.
I didn't know.
We've got some big boulders there to try to keep the trucks out, but we're having a hard time doing that. But that's ours.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Any other questions?
Bruce,
Yes, sir.
we talked about getting into the cattle business
Yes, sir.
all these years. When you guys get a chance, put a little proposal together and give
Okay.
us this number of cattle, this number of acres needed for some of that leased land that's gonna be coming up.
Okay.
And see if it's something that is doable.
Okay.
We don't wanna jump into something that can't be done, but
Right.
other people seem to be making it okay.
Right. Okay, Joe, we'll do it.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other questions? Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you.
Bruce, and we thank you and your guys. You're always
Yes.
around helping us with something out there in the communities, really appreciate that. Doesn't go in those.
Well, I got good people. Good people.
And what size that jacket?
Okay, Ginger Brand Reeves. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I just wanted to point out to everybody, you might want to read in his report and pay attention to the planning and development and see what their involvement is with the new Hastings facility. It's very impressive.
Ginger.
Ginger?
You're up.
Good afternoon. I believe you have my report. Be happy to address any questions that you have.
Any questions?
What's the latest piece of property you put in trust?
We will soon have Bonita Health Clinic in trust, soon, within the next 10, 15 days.
Our south of town project, most of that is in trust already, correct?
Where they are going to put, at Cherokee Springs,
Yes.
where they will be putting the casino, yes, sir.
Okay, that's good, thank you.
We finished that a year ago.
Okay. Did we ever get that little partial there at Oak Hill? Did the Bureau ever take care of that land?
Still working on it. We have to remind them every once in a
Yeah.
while.
Bureau's kind of slow sometimes, aren't
Sometimes.
they? No, it's good that we can use that word self-governance every now and then.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes. Barbara.
Daniel, on the property over at Oak Hill, I know we were in the process of reverting that or getting it back from the Bureau. Is that, did we do that, or is it still pending, or where is that?
It's still pending. Occasionally, I still ask the BIA. That was what Counselor Byrd was just inquiring of.
Okay, and the other question is, the old hospital building, Clinic and J, have you heard any more? Have you been
No,
movement on?
the last time I talked to him was approximately 45 days ago, and they're still getting some estimates on the fire system and other things that they'll need to do before they give us any input as to their interest in it.
All right, okay. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? Dick?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The no audit properties, it's still pending? Thank you.
But it should be coming up pretty soon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Ginger, I have a question about the Washington property there in Sperry, the restricted land inside the city limits. If one of the family members, it's down to 2 heirs now out of 11, if one of the living heirs wants to parcel out a little piece of property there where her mother lived, you know where I'm talking about, where the old trailer got tore down.
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
Okay. Could she apply for housing there?
Just have her to call me and we'll determine to make sure how that land is split up for sure.
Okay.
There may be, it depends on if there's any heirs to the previous 11 or previous 9 years.
Oh, there it is.
So we'll have to look at
She
it.
said there's so many, she doesn't even know what their names
Right,
are.
right. So so it all depends on that piece of property. So she can contact us though.
Okay, I talked to her the other night, so I'll tell her to give you a call. The other piece of restricted land, which is down in the Turley area where we have an encampment on it,
Yes.
they're gonna try to, the Tulsa County Sheriffs are gonna try to make a sweep down through there and take out some of that meth area there. And I think Shannonville is gonna have some marshals also out in that area.
They'll be calling us for jurisdictional calls then.
Okay, so, because they need to get that cleaned up real quick.
All right.
They have the homeless people out now. The only thing's left
Okay.
now is the meth heads. All the homeless went to John 3:16.
Okay, okay. That
Or
makes
dog.
sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll keep you
All
posted.
right, all right.
Any other questions? Thank you, Ginger. All Elkins.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Come up here till you call my name. Let me move on. Good afternoon.
Hello, Tom.
We have our report, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. I don't know if I should elaborate on anything. The only thing I was thinking of when I was going through it is our front page of the report is very numerical. You can tell, you know, we're doing this, this goes up, this doesn't go up, things like that. The last part, you know, they say you can't manage something if you can't measure it. And the things on the front page, you can measure that. We're doing this much, we did this much this quarter, this much this quarter, and so on. But the other things are more qualitatively measured. And I guess I can just say from a narrative that we do quality work.
with what we have. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't want to qualify what we do with the money that we get, except to say that we strategically look for places to do better work and more work. And what I mean by that, if somebody else, we're not really in conflict with the state in that for their work, if they or the feds or somebody is looking at water in a certain way and measuring that, we don't need to measure it again and analyze that to see if it's that way. For the most part, they do the same quality assurance that we do, and so we trust their numbers on that. And our numbers go in the same federal database as theirs do. So instead of putting our money there and trying to do that, we do it in other places. So we try to get the most bang for the buck in what we do. And I guess that's just, kind of the end of the calendar year report for it. But I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions?
Tom, you work in close communication with the gentleman we just appointed, Ed Fight?
All the time. Every month.
Good, good.
Yeah, he's a good man. He Cherokee man, and I've known Ed for good night, probably 30-some years.
That was a good little gesture he threw at us. Pick up some trash that is not in your area.
And he does that. He doesn't just say that. He does that.
Yeah.
He and I talked about this years ago. And do you remember? You probably from around here in different counties that did this had the trash cop thing, and they were in kind of a partnership with that. Years ago in the '60s, people did that. People tossed trash out their window. And I'm not saying it was a good or a bad thing. It's a bad thing. There's trash out there. But people just didn't know and talk about that enough. Now, people know, don't throw your trash out the window. I mean, you go home, there's trash receptacles everywhere.
Yeah.
Good night. I mean, go home and throw it away if you have to, but go to the Love's or Quick Trip, wherever you go, there is trash receptacles. Don't throw it in the back of your pickup. I got a pickup. I don't throw trash back there. But just make it a point. And, the best things that we've done, and mainly after I was a child, but we do, is to teach our kids these things, because the kids come home and they teach us. And so that's another thing where we put our money. We try to talk to kids. We try to go to schools. In the summer, we go to the Cherokee camps, and we try to help with that too, because that's where you get your bang for the buck, just like in school. And again, I don't have to get off subject, but Mr. Fight, he lives those things.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other questions?
Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Tom.
Sarah Hill.
Good afternoon. First of all, I wanted to mention our solar canopy grand opening, and I was very happy to have Janice was there, and there were a lot of other people there. It was really well attended, and we had a lot of media folks come and do interviews and take pictures, and it was a really proud day for us to get to show off something that we had worked so hard on. So that was a really great day, and we were really proud to get that open. And we've already seen several different cars out there. There was a Tesla parked out there a few days ago, and Pat and I both had to go out and stare at it for a while, because we've never seen one before really that up close. So it's already starting to get some use even from community members, so that's been really nice. Another project that we're working on is the Volkswagen settlement. So you may remember that Volkswagen cheated on some of the air emissions tests that they were doing, and they got hit with a big lawsuit from the federal government, and they settled that out. And part of that money, uniquely in that settlement, part of the money was set aside for tribal work to be done, a tribal set aside of the settlement. And that money is going to be competed for by the tribes within the United States, and we are putting together an application to compete for some of that money. And that will includes 100% payment for EV charging infrastructure, so we could increase the amount of electric vehicle charging infrastructure we have at the nation, and it can include vehicles, so things like school buses and things like transport vans that are used at the casino are all things that we can target as going from diesel to electric. So that would be money we could use to help build out some of that critical infrastructure that the Cherokee Nation needs, including some of these DC fast chargers, which a DC fast charger You can take a car from, dead to completely full in just, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. They're very quick. So getting some of those more sophisticated, more expensive chargers in the Cherokee Nation will be great. So we're working hard on that application, which is pretty extensive. I wanted to give you an update on the Chilocco property. Comments on that closed December 9th. The Cherokee Nation submitted a comment. The Ponca tribe submitted a comment, like an 8-page comment that was very robust and had a lot of different issues in it. They have actually, under the amount of stress, I think, that they were under, they released a frequently asked questions. The people who are doing the study did, DHS did. And so a lot of the information that's in here are things that I shared with you at the last meeting, information about how it's being conducted. We haven't heard back anything yet from the Department of Homeland Security on our request for consultation. They will have to deal with this though before this project can move forward. So as soon as I hear back from them on a time where we can have a consultation, I'll be sure and communicate that to all of you, that we've had that opportunity to make our feelings heard about the issue. We had a successful deer season this year. We received an enormous flood of calls, as we always do, and our folks did their very best to be sure and get answers back to every single person who called and had an issue. Now the phones are blessedly silent now the deer season's over. But they'll begin ringing again soon as people start looking for those new licenses. So we're working to begin, those will be issued out in the next month. We'll mail those licenses out. So you might let your constituents know it's a great time. Just put it in your head. Christmas is a great time to update my information at the Cherokee Nation. I'm going to stop and just make sure my address is updated, make sure my contact information is updated. So if you get a chance to have those conversations with your constituents, let them know, if you want that license to come to your door without you having to do anything, be sure and call Cherokee Nation and be sure your information is updated. That's really the critical piece. On the 1947 Act, which is something that I've been working on since I was at the AG's office and continue to work on. The chief testified on that a few months ago on Capitol Hill, and it is preparing for markup at the House of Representatives. So we're continuing to hammer away at that, trying to get that through Congress so that we can remove the blood quantum restrictions on restricted land. So that's something that I continue to work on. It is a natural resources issue as well as a legal issue. So that's something that I continue to work on. On the pine trees, I know that you got an update earlier today about that they decided to create a local emphasis area at that area. So that's part of the steps that we need to get funding to thin out those pine trees and to do some work out there. So I know that Karen updated you on that, but I just wanted I had that on my list too of things to be sure and update you on. So other than that, I think that's some of the high points of what we've been doing. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them if I can.
Questions?
I have one. On the 47 Act,
Yes, sir.
do we have the Oklahoma delegation? Are they supporting that?
Yes, sir.
All of them? Because, again, we always get that list of contributions we make when it comes to PAC time.
Right.
And this is a very important piece of legislation, so if there's any one of them that's not on board, then you let us know. Next time, they won't get as much as the others that do support.
They'll definitely be.
Isn't that fair enough?
Yeah, that's very fair. I know Representative Tom Cole and Representative Mullins have worked. Them and their staff have worked extremely hard on us with that. So their staff have not just made it a priority; they have really put their backs into it. I know Senator Breitenstein's office has worked with us as well, and we sat down with Senator Inhofe's office and talked to them on multiple occasions about it too. So, there's certainly never been a visit that we've made where they've said, hey, we don't want to support that, we have a problem with that. It's always been, keep us informed on what's going on. We're at the House right now, so we're not to the Senate side yet, but hopefully if we get through markup, we'll be able to start working on the Senate side too. And there's just a lot of other legislative council, and there's a lot of bureaucracy involved with all of that you just have to cut through, and the staffers' help with that is really important, and it's been good to have that help.
Well, thank you, Sarah. You do a good job. Appreciate you.
I try hard. It's a pleasure to do it.
Thank you. I just have an offline question for you, so I would like to talk to you before you leave.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I need one more motion.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Get that gavel.
We're done.